For centuries, mystics whispered of a secret more profound than sight, a forbidden technique long guarded from the world, waiting for those bold enough to embrace its power. Imagine for a moment that a hidden sense slumbers inside you, veiled only by forgetfulness. This is not a new ability to acquire, but an ancient inheritance, a radiant inner vision as real and natural as your breath. It pulses softly within you, sometimes breaking through in moments you dismissed as coincidence, suddenly sensing the weight of unseen eyes on you, feeling an undeniable pull in your gut when making life's most crucial decisions. These are not accidents. They are echoes of the ageless gift you carry. Every night, when you drift into the dream world, your body sinks into rest and your eyes close. Yet, within, images bloom with an intensity that rivals waking life. You move through landscapes made of memory and mystery, perceiving without the limitations of physical sight. Have you ever marveled at how vividly you can see in your dreams, colors brighter, sensations deeper, emotions rawer? That faculty, that seeing beyond the veil, is inner vision. In childhood, these boundaries between worlds were thin, if not non-existent. Young ones gaze into spaces adults call empty. Their laughter fills rooms with invisible friends. Everything feels charged with presence. Each shadow could hide a universe. Slowly, as we age, the relentless noise of grown-up life drowns out this subtle awareness. But the faculty remains within, waiting for a moment of awakening. Ancient texts, such as the revered Chandogya Upanishad, speak to this phenomenon. There, the Atman, the essence of all consciousness, is called the self-luminous light. It is the light that sees, feels, and knows beyond the reach of eyes, ears, tongue, or skin. It is said, the Atman is light itself, shining peacefully within. For thousands of years, spiritual seekers understood that true vision is an act of consciousness. The senses are but tools. Like infants, you too once moved effortlessly across the bridge of worlds, never doubting that there was more to behold. But what is this veil so many traditions allude to? Mystics, quantum thinkers, sages, all point to a subtle boundary that separates waking reality from a deeper, undying truth. Imagine two parallel rooms, side by side, separated by a thin curtain. Sometimes, in a flash of intuition, an unexplained chill, or a déjà vu too perfect to ignore, you feel yourself brush against that dividing line. It's the sensation of stepping through a doorway and entering a completely different atmosphere. A sense of crossing into territory that lies just out of sight. To the seers of the Mundaka Upanishad, this barrier was known as Maya, illusion woven in shimmering threads that obscure the Brahman, the infinite reality. This Maya is not evil. It is the tapestry of creation necessary for experience. Yet, beneath its shifting patterns, truth endures. Truth you can perceive with your inner senses. The masters of old learned to pass through this veil, unhindered by doubt. Their vision sharpened by secret practices handed down in whispers from one generation to the next. Why keep such knowledge hidden? Because, like fire, this technique can illuminate the mind or consume it in delusion. This secret is not entertainment. It is a tool for transformation. Only those of clear intention and purified mind dared seek it. For as stated in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the Atman can only be known by those who have renounced all that is not the self. Yet a shift is stirring in the world. Something deep within humanity strains against the old boundaries, yearning for rediscovery, as if a forgotten piece of yourself aches to be remembered. Soon, you will understand why the ancients called this the greatest of all gifts, a key that dissolves the divide between worlds and unlocks the hidden vistas of your own consciousness. You are not here by accident. The questions tugging at your soul, the subtle nudges you feel right now, are signals that your journey is beginning. The moment to see beyond the veil is upon you. Within the hidden chambers of the world's mystery traditions, inner vision was recognized not as a talent for the few, but as the birthright of every human soul. It is the direct line to the infinite, the thread connecting the temporary play of forms to the endless ocean of being. And yet, for most, the thread remains dormant, tangled in the clutter of daily existence. How, then, does one reclaim this sacred power? The answer lies in the creation of a bridge, an architecture built from silence, shaped by breath, and strengthened by focus. This triad, known as the three pillars of awakening, is as ancient as the earliest Upanishads and as vital now as it was thousands of years ago. Imagine standing before a locked door that leads into the heart of reality. Each pillar is a key, and only with all three can the door swing open. The first pillar is conscious silence. But this is not mere absence of noise. It is the spacious field between thoughts, the quietude where your deepest self can be heard. Think back to those moments just before sleep claims you, when the traffic of the mind finally slows and a hush expands. Remain awake in that stillness, and you will realize it is not emptiness. It is the fertile ground of all creation, the birthplace of insight, the foundation for true vision. The Mandukya Upanishad calls this silence the doorway to the absolute, emphasizing that beyond words and concepts, reality reveals itself as a peaceful vastness. The second pillar is sacred breath. While you inhale and exhale each moment without thought, the ancients discovered that conscious control of breath is nothing less than a sacred rite. In nearly every tradition, breath is the bridge between worlds, carrying spirit into form and form back into spirit. By synchronizing breath with intention, you harmonize your body and mind, preparing the vessel for awakening. In the Katha Upanishad, the sages taught that the one who conquers the senses by breath finds the path to the self. This sacred breath forms a ladder, each rung drawing you closer to the inner sun, energizing the lamp of perception. The third pillar is directed focus. Modernity is a storm of distractions, scattering your attention like leaves before the wind. Left unchecked, your mind flits from thought to thought, image to image, never pausing long enough for depth to take root. The secret, preserved by the masters, is to train your focus until it becomes as sharp as a laser, a single unwavering beam. This is not merely concentration, but a living force, capable of piercing the veil that hides deeper realities. The Upanishads speak of the mind as a chariot. Without a skilled driver, it goes astray, but with discipline, it can reach the highest realms. When these three elements are cultivated as one, something miraculous takes place. A resonance occurs, like a chord played on a cosmic instrument. This harmony creates a bridge between the seen and the unseen, and you are able to cross freely. The awakening of inner vision is not random, but the inevitable byproduct of this precise orchestration. Each practice nourishes the others. Silence deepens breath. Breath steadies focus. Focus sharpens perception. And perception reveals the worlds hidden within and beyond. But such profound work cannot begin without preparation. Do not imagine that external rituals, candles, incense, sacred icons, are of primary importance. True spiritual preparation happens in the secret space of your own mind. Think of yourself as a gardener, returning to a wild plot overgrown with weeds. There is no need to clear everything at once. Start small, choosing to consciously cultivate a single moment of intention. This act of will, repeated daily, transforms the rough ground into fertile earth. You can claim this time and space anywhere. The outer world does not need to be silent. In fact, the noise can become a tool, a teacher in disguise, challenging you to root your awareness more deeply. What matters above all is consistency. 10 minutes in focused practice outshines a scattershot hour in perfect silence. As you honor the commitment to return again and again, pathways form in your mind, and what was once difficult becomes effortless, automatic, a new way of being. Before you journey further, know this: what you are about to learn is far more than a set of instructions. It is an invitation to explore the frontier of your own consciousness. Every repetition prepares you. Every act of presence polishes the mirror of your mind. Soon, the forbidden technique will be revealed, and with it, the possibility of true awakening. The time has come to unveil the SCP breathing ritual, the ancient and forbidden key, passed invisibly through generations, now placed in your hands. This is not a simple pattern of inhaling and exhaling, but a coded process designed to synchronize every layer of your being. 7 breaths, each with a purpose, each unlocking a deeper stratum of perception. The number 7 holds power across cultures, 7 colors to the rainbow, 7 musical notes, 7 chakras, 7 gates to the inner city of light. Here, it marks the 7 stages of descent into yourself, each breath melting a little more of the veil that clouds your vision. You may perform this anywhere, at any time. All that is required is your conscious intention and your unwavering presence. Begin by finding a comfortable seat, spine straight but not rigid, hands resting where they feel most natural. Allow your eyes to close gently. Let your awareness withdraw from the outer world and turn inward. Bring your attention to the space on your forehead between your eyebrows, the ancient seat of the inner eye. The first breath, draw in slowly, imagining golden light pouring in with the air. This is not fantasy. The mind responds to images as real as reality. Feel the breath entering the brow, filling you with warmth and gentle radiance. The golden energy washes tension from your mind, preparing the ground. The next 2 breaths. With each inhale, cultivate a sense of clarity, as if fog is lifting inside your head. Exhale tension, limitation, doubt. Release what no longer serves you. As you settle into this rhythm, notice if tingling or pressure arises on your brow. Some experience flashes of blue or purple. Others feel subtle pulsing or hear gentle tones. Trust the sensations, whatever form they take. Do not analyze, simply observe. The 4th and 5th breaths. Here, something shifts. A lightness emerges, like stepping up into a sacred hall. Visual impressions may appear, colors, shapes, fleeting images, or perhaps a gentle expansion in the head. There is no need to force or judge. Remember, the Upanishads describe the sacred syllable Om as the chariot-lifting consciousness into higher realms. Your breath, infused with intent, becomes the vehicle for your ascent. The 6th and 7th breaths. By this stage, a potent calm spreads through you, a stillness that is not empty, but vibrant and awake. Your sense of self as a solid, separate being begins to dissolve. The edges of thought grow soft. Here, embedded in a field of gentle alertness, inner vision arises. It may come as a deep knowing, a clear image, a profound tranquility. You have arrived at the threshold. Remain in this altered space for as long as feels natural. The practice is less about duration and more about depth. Over time, 7 breaths become a gateway you can enter at will, your passport to the subtle realms. Remember, your mind is a living space, a garden awaiting cultivation. Each practice plants a seed. It is not necessary to wait for silence or emptiness to descend from above. Rather, work with what you are given. Perhaps there are sounds, traffic, voices, wind, even chaos. Use them as anchors, reminders to return to the present. Every distraction is a tool, every interruption a chance to deepen your commitment. With time and patience, you will notice a shift. The line between meditation and daily life blurs. The garden of your mind grows lush and controlled, ripe with possibility. And when your thoughts wander, as they surely will, recall the wisdom of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Let the mind be purified, freed from attachment to the ephemeral. Each return to focus, no matter how brief or fraught with distraction, is an act of purification, a declaration that you are willing to see beyond the veil. There is a phenomenon few can name, yet every seeker has touched: the blind spot of consciousness. This is not mere emptiness or blankness, but an in-between realm, subtle, liminal, harboring immense secrets. It is the threshold state between wakefulness and sleep, an unseen vortex where perception unravels and something new is born. Picture a river rushing with thoughts, emotions, sensations. Now, beneath its surface, imagine a silent whirlpool, still, powerful, almost invisible. This is the blind spot. You cannot stare directly at it, just as you cannot see your own eye without a mirror. It is sensed through gentle peripheral awareness, discovered by noticing the flickering gaps between each passing thought. For a heartbeat, you are nowhere and everywhere. In this moment, the mind's usual filters dissolve, and new layers of reality become accessible. Masters described this as entering the Turiya, the 4th state beyond wakefulness, dream, and deep sleep. The Mandukya Upanishad proclaims, not inwardly knowing, not outwardly knowing, intangible, ineffable, the cessation of phenomenal cognition. That is self. That is reality. That is to be known. Here, in the blind spot, the roots of inner vision grow deepest. The more you notice it, the longer you linger there, the more the ordinary world transforms. Just as flowing rivers are made visible by shifts in the current, your mind's states are marked by distinct frequencies, undulating patterns scientists call brain waves. Mystics call the dance of consciousness. There are times when these waves grow calmer and intent. Dawn, dusk, the quiet hours before sleep. These passages are not random. They are ancient portals, celebrated in ritual across cultures, moments when the veil grows thin. According to the Chandogya Upanishad, there is an invisible, subtle essence which pervades all. All this has that as its self. That is the truth. That is the self. That art thou. When you learn to attune yourself to these natural cycles, you become fluid. As your awareness sharpens, you recognize these portals and slip into them like a swimmer gliding into warm waters. Your perception expands. Time distorts. Possibilities multiply. But the journey is not without guardians. Doubt, fear, impatience, and spiritual ego line the path, each a keeper of deeper thresholds. Doubt doesn't merely question the practice, but the very foundations of what you know as real. It raises the unsettling question: Can this really be possible? Can I trust what I perceive? Still, doubt is not an enemy, but a teacher, forcing you to sift illusion from truth, fantasy from insight. Fear may appear as a subtle resistance, a tug to remain with the familiar, to recoil from the unknown. It is the echo of ancient survival mechanisms, whispering, "Stay safe, stay small." Yet, in its heart, fear is awe, a reverence for the infinite, a necessary humility before the forces you invoke. Impatience is the shadow of your longing for results. In a world promising instant answers, you may expect transformation at the snap of a finger. But the roots of inner vision grow slowly, deepening only with care and time. And then comes the most perilous guardian, the spiritual ego. As you glimpse new realms, as synchronicities and visions blossom, the temptation to claim specialness arises. "I am awakened," whispers the ego, and others remain asleep. This trap is subtle, its walls invisible. Only humility and discernment can free you. The sages of the Katha Upanishad warned, "The path is sharp as a razor's edge." Only those who transform doubt into discernment, fear into respect, impatience into presence, and ego into humility walk the way unhindered. Each challenge is an invitation to purity, to leave behind the weights you do not need for the journey beyond. Amidst the swirling energies of awakening, a singular experience stands above all, the moment of true transformation. For some, this arrival is thunderous, a great rush of clarity that colors the entire world anew. For others, it is gentle as dawn, soft and subtle, accumulating in layers impossible to map. Words strain to describe this event. It is the tearing of an invisible veil, after which nothing ever looks the same. Suddenly, colors dance with new intensity. Nature vibrates on a higher pitch. Faces glow with depth unseen before. Synchronicities erupt, connecting the past and future in unforeseen webs. Insights pour in, sometimes as flares of understanding, sometimes as gentle whispers. This is not the fantasy of an overactive mind, but a tangible reordering of perception. You know with a certainty the intellect cannot manufacture. The Mundaka Upanishad sings, "When the knots of the heart are loosed, the mortal becomes immortal." This is the ultimate seeing. But awakening is never static nor final. It unfurls in stages, peeling layer after layer of limitation away. With each step, the world appears more miraculous, yet ever more mysterious, as if every answer births 100 new questions. The initial shock gives way to steadiness, and the journey deepens. To navigate the deep waters that follow awakening is an art in itself. Remnants of old patterns may pull you back, societal scripts, ancient doubts, the inertia of routine. Yet new phenomena arise. Time warps, bending and stretching in novel ways. Days pass in minutes. An instant blooms into eternity. You sense events before they transpire, download fragments of future possibility as intuition, or receive guidance through dreams too precise to ignore. Such abilities are real, but they bring risk. Without grounding, awakening can fracture the psyche, unmoor the soul. This is why the wise speak of the anchor, not a weight that imprisons, but a core of trust that enables you to ride inner storms without losing balance. The Kena Upanishad counsels discernment, that which cannot be known by the mind, but by which the mind knows. Know that alone, as Brahman. You must learn to distinguish the symbolic from the literal, the useful from the distracting. Synchronicities surge, numbers that repeat, meetings that seem orchestrated, messages that arrive at exact moments of need. Do not cling or chase them. Let them guide, not govern. These signs are maps, not destinations. The wise inner navigator uses them as sail and compass, not as an anchor that halts the journey. As you become fluent in this new perception, you begin to sense currents invisible to the ordinary world, a field of meaning connecting everything. Eventually, these experiences integrate, their strangeness dissolving into a wondrous new normal. Integration is the final, most important chapter, the sacred process of weaving your awakened vision into the tapestry of daily life. For awakening to bear fruit, it must move from the extraordinary into the ordinary, illuminating every corner of existence. Begin simply. Keep a record of your new perceptions. Call it a navigator's journal, a written archive or digital note, a living document that captures dreams, synchronicities, moments of clear knowing, lessons learned through intuition. By mapping these events, patterns emerge, and the unseen geometry of your life reveals itself. This is not mere reflection, but dialogue with the universe. Discretion matters. While you may long to share your revelations, recognize that not all are ready or willing to receive what you have seen. Speak from the heart, but discern the soil in which you plant the seeds of insight. Sometimes the truest teachings blossom in silence, reflected in your presence rather than your words. With awakened vision comes heightened sensitivity, a flood tide of impression that can overwhelm if not managed. Create routines that nourish balance. Retreat into nature. Adopt small daily rituals that recenter you. Cultivate solitude as well as connection. Recognize when to withdraw, when to engage, when to rest. This self-care anchors your transformation, allowing you to operate as a beacon rather than a prisoner of sensitivity. The Isha Upanishad offers timeless wisdom. He who sees all beings in himself and himself in all beings feels no hate, no division. For the self abides in everything. This is integration in its purest form, not an escape from life, but a triumphant return to it, bearing gifts for all you encounter. Compassion blossoms, presence deepens, and every action radiates from a center of expanded vision. Each day, remember, the journey is not to be finished, but to be lived. Every moment is an opportunity to see through fresh eyes, to connect with the pulse of creation, to become a radiant vessel of awareness. The forbidden technique is no longer forbidden. It is yours. You are the bridge between worlds. Now, the boundaries between self and cosmos blur. The mystical and the ordinary exist on a single continuum. You become both observer and participant in the endless dance of the universe. Inner vision is not a destination or trophy, but a way of being, the direct experience of the sacred within the flow of life. Every ordinary moment now harbors the extraordinary, if you remain open and awake. Curiosity and devotion will carry you farther than effort or force ever could. The infinite awaits not at the frayed edge of the world, but within the silent center of your own being. This is your legacy. This is your awakening. The veil falls. See, truly, for the very first time.